agree that he is hiding out on this issue, and is that a good posture to be in?
I would not agree with that at all. Look,
If you want more content like this, then go ahead and destroy that red subscribe button right now. Hey there fam, what's up and welcome back to our channel. Standing tall and white, the White House has been a beacon of democracy since the 18th century. Its foundations laid down by George Washington, it was meant to house presidents that will follow his footsteps. And since the United States of America had a growing significance and an increasing influence over the world, it was of utmost importance to keep the key figures of global politics under the most secure premise. And so, stricter and more phenomenally exceptional security measures were personalized within the House. Number 5. Secret Service. The leader of the free world must remain safe and well at all times, since there have been 30 documented attempts at assassination, out of which 4 were successful. And so, these insane security features were put in place because armed guards and motion-sensitive cameras were just not enough. Presidents are the most important figure, and they, along with their family, reside within the White House. This is why, to ensure constant armed protection, reliance on a trained human's intuition and alertness, the House is surrounded by 1,400 officers who have the privilege of not only getting the uniform free of cost, a hefty payment, but non-obstructive jurisdiction within the vicinities of the White House and outside of it. The broader arresting ability equips them with the required resources to be at their best forms when guarding. Similarly, the Secret Service deployed around and with the officials in the House are highly trained professionals who have to survive through hard tests and challenges to be able to be deemed qualified for a job as demanding and stressful as securing the lives of current presidents. These Secret Service officials are trained to deal with every possible situation, be it a threat, red alert, or a suspicious wanderer within the premise. They are trained at the Training Center, a large facility that depicts Marine One and Air Force One, the preferred choice of vehicle by the president, so they have a better judgment and insight when encountering a situation in them. Similarly, the training center is also equipped with a set of the White House and its surrounding streets so that the Secret Service has better navigation skills. Even when driving the presidential limousine, the driver has to pass multiple driving tests. He should be cleared and deemed competent to get complicated maneuvers done. Also, the Secret Service shadows every member of the president's family and have specified code names to denote them.
Because Uniform Division has very broad arrest powers. We can arrest for local offenses in the District of Columbia as well as the federal offenses.
Number 4. Constant surveillance. Now, being a free citizen of a renownedly free country, one is at the liberty to tour the magnificent building, but the authorities decide how, when, and where you're allowed to go wandering. After entering through the East Wing, when one is cleared, they can enter specific locations, and understandably so, being the house that facilitates and accommodates people of political and global significance, personalities working and staying there, the house has to be under constant surveillance. This is why, to access the highest levels of the office, you have to put in 21 days of notice so the service knows the head count before the touring group is allowed to enter the house. These strict measures are under constant supervision and security. This doesn't allow the service to inspect the tourist group, but get background checks on every person who enters to marvel at the significance. Also, one cannot simply enter the rooms. You're allowed to peek in and snap photos, but they're still off limits.
Third floors of the White House are sometimes called the First Family's private residence because it's actually the place where they reside.
Number 3. Bulletproof windows. It makes sense that the White House is the most secured building ever. One of the highlighting features is super strong and impenetrable bulletproof glasses that are used in the windows because the one thing that the president doesn't need is the constant worry for his life. The strong glass is otherwise illegal to use for ordinary purposes and regular use for citizens. This glass is only customized, built, and used for presidential security. The existence of ballistic glass behind the regular glass was revealed when a man was committed to creating some chaos and went ahead and fired some shots at the house. Now the public knows there's a feature installed to keep the building safe, but the knowledge of what kind of measures to protect the country remains inaccessible to the masses. To the top of this, the White House is riddled with motion sensors and infrared lasers that detect even the flutter of a wing of a bird flying over the house. These sensors are constantly vigilant and detect any of the tiniest, even the slightest of movements. They're set in place to cover all possible entry points, even the sky above the house, surrounding territory, and the underground ultrasonic sensors, so every movement is detected and hostilities are neutralized. Even the slightest of concern mobilizes a giant stampeding Secret Service squad towards the movement, and that's preferred over reckless negligence that can endanger the life of the president.
This is a man who discharged a rifle in downtown D.C. We're going to need to speak with him to find out just what he was thinking.
Number 2, restrictive fly zone. The airspace above the White House, even the entire Washington, D.C., is a no-fly zone. When the president flies, every other flight is put on hold, which means no other flight is in the air when the president is flying. In addition to this, if a rogue airplane makes its way towards the White House, it's shot down by missiles. The White House is protected by an intricately designed security feature, so any possible threat is neutralized by being eliminated. And before a rogue aircraft reaches the White House, it is chased by fighter jets. F-16s rush to fly and tail the rogue one. Since the security of the president is a national priority, there's also a little rumor going around which states that the entire Capitol is equipped with missile launchers, and even the slightest hint of danger will set them off. This doesn't only protect the Capitol, but the White House and the president residing within it.
When the president moves around, the Federal Aviation Administration puts a temporary flight restriction in place, and then we defend it.
Number 1, bunker. Presidential Emergency Operations Center. A bunker situated beneath the East Wing was built for the president to be whisked away to at the slightest possibility of graver threats impending. The bunker was an initiation to keep the president and other important officials' lives safe. The first draft of the bunker, or the first version of it, was built in the grave times of World War II with the sole objective to protect President Franklin D. Roosevelt in an unforeseen and catastrophic event of an Air Force attack on the capital, Washington, D.C. by the Axis force. But as time and technology advanced, the bunker was brought up to date, and now the modern PEOC bunker is enhanced and modified with modern communication devices and types of equipment, including televisions and phones, to coordinate and navigate with the outside governmental and non-governmental entities. Every day, the PEOC bunker is guarded and surveillance around the clock every moment of the day by highly trained Joint Service military officers and non-commissioned officers. The last time the bunker was used was on 9/11, one of the darkest days in the history of the United States of America. While the president was in Florida, every other significant political personalities were evacuated from the White House and taken to the bunker for their protection and to avoid loss of key figures. The bunker was proved to be a substantial measure in keeping important lives secured. After the 11th of September, the bunker was again used to secure President Trump in the wake of riots to protest for George Floyd. The protests came to a head, and when the crowd started closing in on the White House, the president was immediately taken to the bunker. This has proved to be the last resort to oversee the president's security. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below whether these security measures are a bit overkill for one person's security or whether it's necessary. Also, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel while also hitting that bell icon so you can catch up on more content like this in the future. And while you're here, go ahead and give those other 2 videos on your screen a look. And with that, I'll catch you guys later in another video.